So there should be a congressional investigation of the cover-up of Joe Biden's decline and how that imperiled United States national security, just as we had an investigation after 9/11. We need the equivalent of that. And I think the rage at the Biden administration is not primarily regarding Joe Biden's poor debate performance. Rather, it is the cover-up, right? It's not the crime, it's the cover-up by Biden's team. It's the bad faith exhibited by Biden's team. So this is a definition from Cornell Law School. It's the first definition for bad faith in its legal meaning that comes up in a Google search. Bad faith refers to dishonesty or fraud in a transaction. So depending on the exact setting, bad faith may mean a dishonest belief or purpose, untrustworthy performance of duties, neglect of fair dealing standards, or fraudulent intent. So the Biden administration has been putting forth a fraud that Joe Biden is capable of holding down the responsibilities of the President of the United States. Right? They are breaching obligations inherent in the contract between the Biden administration and fellow Democrats, Biden administration and Americans, to deal with other parties in good faith and with fair dealing. And obviously the Biden administration has not been operating this way. They keep coming up with cascading different stories about Joe Biden's poor performance.
Into this, and then last Thursday night happens, and lo and behold, 50 million people are like...
Look, to the issue of credibility and where this has stood, we pulled together a couple examples of debate performances gone by from President Biden. Let's just watch what it was like. This is a VP debate followed by a presidential debate in 2020, followed by what we saw on Thursday. Watch.
It has never been done before.
It's been done a couple of times, actually.
It has never been
Jack
done
Kennedy
before.
lowered tax rates, increased growth. Ronald Reagan.
Now you're Jack Kennedy.
Ronald Reagan.
That is such a disgusting debating tactic. So this was the 2012 vice presidential debate, and Paul Ryan came into it prepared to discuss policy, and Joe Biden would just derail it with these cheap shots. All right. Paul Ryan was making a point about growth and tax cuts and invoking what happened when President John F. Kennedy passed a tax cut. And Paul Ryan said absolutely nothing about "I'm Jack Kennedy." This was such a disgusting cheap shot that characterizes Joe Biden's political career. So I don't know why people want to honor Joe Biden's political career. I don't see it as something particularly honorable.
Reagan, Republicans and Democrats.
Well, it is what it is because you are who you are.
Right. So Joe Biden wanted mics muted for his latest debate, but he was happy to derail debates with cheap shots and unnecessary interruptions in his previous performances when he still had the cognitive quickness to pull it off.
That's why it is. The president has no plan. He hasn't laid out anything. He knew all the way back in February how serious this crisis was.